WMC Memphis, WMFS FM HD2 Bartlett Memphis. It's America's team. The Dallas Cowboys play here on ESPN 790 AM. The views and opinions of the hosts or guests of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the management or staff of Intercom Memphis.
Watch the sunrise, new day's gone, and it's calling you and me, where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time, take a family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, Best Care Home Services, and DeSoto Outdoors and Archery. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 on this December the 17th, the Saturday before Christmas. You know, we have another show. Another show, that's right. I forget that. This Christmas is on a Sunday this year. So I'll have a show next Saturday, the 24th. But anyway,
you gonna wish me a happy birthday?
Yeah, your birthday is when?
24th.
I thought it was, so I gave you an early present there.
Yeah, you did good.
A nice present. And if you're wondering if that doesn't sound like Frank Barton, it's definitely not Frank Barton.
Yeah, but Frank, I will sell you an ATV.
You probably will. Frank's going to join us in just a few minutes. He's tied up this morning, and we'll talk to Frank. But Dave Gabbert, the Minister of Propaganda for Region 1 at TWRA, as he likes to call himself,
yes.
Has slipped in the studio. And, of course, Greg Ratliff is our show producer. And, yes, I do have soon to have meat in the freezer. It's a whole – I could spend a whole show talking about the deer that – and you know where I took my deer. Of course, I took them to the Stengel brothers on Highway 64. And Scott Stengel is with us this morning. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Larry.
Okay, all right. Now let's just get it out of the way right now. Okay, I didn't do a very good shot. Okay, but I did bring the deer in. Now it was field dress kind of funny and things like that, but it's there. Well, go ahead. Tell them.
Well, I was told not to talk about that, so I don't know. You go on with it, and then I'll fill in the rest.
I'm just going to say that it's at your place, okay? I wouldn't take it any place else.
He can be the miracle worker.
Yeah, he's going to try, that's for sure. But spent a long time trying the bad shot. The deer ran, went across down a 30-foot ditch and up the other side. And but anyway, that was not the bad part. The bad part was trying to get the deer back on the other side of the ditch. And it's 73 years old. It took me a while. My partner's kind of incapacitated, so to speak. But we got it to Stengel Brothers, and it's being taken care of right now. And we talked to Scott earlier in the season, and, you know, we started off in the bow season with warm weather, and we've had some ups and downs, and now we're getting some deer weather, so to speak.
You can talk about today. It's going to be deer weather, high 60s.
Well, I mean, other than today, tomorrow, and then yesterday.
The day you killed your deer,
it was nice.
Deer weather.
But you're telling me, Scott, that you're getting some pretty good deer in.
Oh, yeah, a lot of deer. Really started off slow. Mm-hmm. Bow season, muzzle load was really slow, but opening day of gun, they started coming out of the woodwork. I mean, the the buck kill has been just more than we've seen in several years, comparably speaking to the does, as far as ratio goes. Now that'll probably change at the end of the year, but right now a lot of decent deer and healthy deer.
Yes, I know that I did shoot my deer was a big doe. It was a big doe because I know it got bigger as longer I pulled it, and everything like that. But when we came in earlier in the week, we stopped at Scott's because my good friend Steve McPherson brought in a spike, and Scott took care of that. But right when we pulled in, it's like the time I took my only deer that I have mounted and entered it and took it to Somerville for one of those deer rallies.
Deer rally, yeah.
And my friends at TWRA, my deer scored about 130. They put me between a 160 and a 170. My deer looked rather small.
Yeah, but your deer at 130 is an average quality deer here in West Tennessee.
Well, it didn't look like it, where it is, because when we pulled in with that deer earlier in the week from Steve's and bringing it to Scott's, there was a monster in the back of this truck backed up to Stengel Brothers right there. I don't know what that thing weighed, but it had to weigh over 200 pounds. And are you getting some big deer? You said you're getting some healthy deer.
Big deer. There's been several lower 160 class deer, several of those this year, and locally Fayette County deer.
Fayette County deer, yeah.
Right. A few Hardimans, but most of the bigger deer are coming right here out of Fayette County.
Wow. So tell our listeners an update again about your business, Scott.
Well, we take pride in what we do. We'd like to. We're going to hang your deer at least 5 days.
Uh-huh. And why that? Why do you do that?
Well, it just bleeds it out. It gives it a better taste all around.
Yep.
If we had the opportunity, we'd hang it longer, but we just can't do it. But 5 does what it needs to do to get it in the package and not have so much moisture and blood in it.
Uh-huh.
It makes all the difference in the world.
So you'll hang it for 5 days, and then
that deer, that tag stays on that deer. We'll take it into the cutting room, take good care of it, do specialty cuts, whatever you order, and then it gets packaged with that number on it, and you get your deer back.
And you said you get your deer back.
Right.
It's not somebody else's deer or anything. You're going to get your deer back, right?
That's right, 100%. So if you take care of your game when you bring it to me, it's how you took care of it when it hit our dock out here.
And I know, Dave, I talk about this a lot. These folks that drag their deer out and drag it along the ground and bring it back. We did get that big doe lifted up to the front of the four-wheeler. So the only time it was that it touched the ground was when we were trying to winch it up that big ditch. But it makes a difference if you're getting your deer. Take care of it. You've always told me that, hadn't you?
Right. You get if you field dress that deer as fast as you can and get the cooling process started early, it makes all the difference in the world.
And I know this year, Dave knows this. We have a new rule. If it's just tell them again, Scott, about the buck deers that are checked in. You have to. It's got to have a bump. Or what is it? What's the deal, Dave?
If it shows any polished bone sticking up,
okay,
even above the hair, it's classified as an antlered deer,
right?
But if it just has the little bumps and no polished bone,
that's what I want to find out here.
It's still an antlerless deer. So it's got to have exposed.
It has to break the skin.
It's got to break the skin.
Okay, that's what Scott told me the other day. It's got to break the skin before, and that counts as one of your bucks.
Yeah, that's one of your 2 antlered deer for the year.
Yeah, so don't shoot one of those and a big buck in the same day.
Yeah, but it's and
Scott's
probably seen it. Technology now for deer hunting, since the advent of the trail cams, everybody's got trail cams up.
Yes.
Before the season. So they're seeing an area a lot of big deer.
Yeah.
So the hunters are kind of policing themselves.
Uh-huh.
They're waiting, but as but and Scott's going to find out probably later in the season. Yeah, once if they take that buck, then they're going to start shooting antlerless deer.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah. The doe count will come up.
Right.
Okay. And
Right. We saw that a lot last year with the open of the doe season at the end. I think the hunters really utilize that, and I think it's going to help the deer population quite a bit by thinning some of those does.
And you also mentioned once you've got the deer, how do you wrap it, preserve it, the meat?
Right. We'll double wrap it in a freezer film, which is a clear wrap, and then one wrap in a white paper.
Wow.
And it's it lasts almost as long as vacuum packing, but not for the cost. So I'm going to say, easy over a year. You're not going to have any freezer burn on that on your product at all.
And cleanliness too. We talk about that. Scott makes sure. I don't ever see him sitting around in there. Nathan, I see you do have Nathan in there helping you now. I mean, you got
all right. Yeah, he got finished with his exams at school, so we got him doing the 70-hour week thing. So he couldn't wait to get back in here.
Well, I know, and
I've got to touch on, it's kind of what y'all talking about. Be surprised the number of deer hunters that go. And they've got all their other equipment, but they lacking on what it takes to really, if you're going to do a decent job of field dressing that deer.
Yes, I know it.
They get to that deer, they put one on the ground, they pull out some little 2-inch, pocket knife. They're fixing to,
Well, let's don't get into field dressing the deer.
I carry, hedge clippers and everything.
I got it all, but when you're operating by yourself and trying to keep that. It's pretty cool, and we'll say this is a family operation. And I was mentioning that's Nathan. That is one of you and your wife. What's your wife's first name?
Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy. That is one of their sons, and of course, how's Nick doing?
He's doing great. He got married and he's up at Fort Knox as first lieutenant, so he's doing well.
That's great. I wanted the folks to know that it was Nick and Nathan that got this thing going, and now Mom and Daddy and anybody else that stops by, you're going to get a friendly welcome. I don't know everybody's name, but the guy that gets it off the truck when you back up right there, he's a joy. I mean, he's laughing and everything like that. It's not like saying, "Oh, you're here again," like that. They're going to welcome you. And please, folks, when you go to see, and tell them where you're located, Scott.
We're at 22675 Highway 64, right at Laconia.
And make sure you go in the entrance and not out the exit. A guy was trying to race me the other day just to get in front of me. He was going up the wrong way, and I said, "Boy, I hope some big old four-wheeler, the guy driving a dually doesn't come down that way."
Right.
But,
They're so excited to get up here and see us, Larry. They just have to they use any drive.
That's it, buddy. All right, I hope to see you soon again, buddy.
All right. Come see us.
All right, have a great day. All right, Scott Stengel from the Stengel Brothers Outdoors.
And one thing we're seeing, about deer, checking them in, with the new system. Yeah. If they're doing it on the phones, and they're like me and you kill a deer.
Yes.
And you check it in, and then it says there's an app, on part of the app that says, do you want to, continue?
Yeah.
Well, you got to log out.
Yes.
And then I've got to log back in, or it's going to show you've killed 2 deer.
Well, yes. No, I struggled with all of that earlier this week, but I got it done. All right, let's take a break. Come right back. We're going to talk some outdoors, a Mid-South report. Frank Barton's going to join us on Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.